Hey, Chad here with Concrete Floor Supply. We thought we'd do a little video. We get this question quite a bit, and it has to do with our polishing system. And the question is, how do you edge? How do you do edges? Okay, so to back up a little bit, our polishing system that most people are referring to is you're using these diamond pads, our DNA satellite pads, satellites because of the dots. Real quick, these are diamonds all the way through the pad, front, back, actually all diamond here, diamond through the pad. Anyway, the polishing system starts at a 50 grit, and then you go 100 grit, and then 200, 400, 800, 1500. And you're using these pads, you're using them dots down, satellites down on a low speed buffer, and you do the floor. Well, you know, you put them on a low speed buffer. These low speed buffers you could rent basically anywhere. And what happens is with the low speed buffer, with the shroud, you'll be able to get up fairly close, but you'll be like an inch or so away from the floor when you do it. So people go, how do you edge? And we made edging really easy. One thing about our pads is they don't really get so aggressive with the floor that your edges become very hard to transition out because of all of the diamonds in the pad, and that you're putting them on a lightweight buffer, so you're really polishing and refining the cream of the concrete. As you can see on our floor toe, if you want to give it like a shot, we just, you know, we refined the top of the surface with the pad because it's a lightweight polishing system that makes it easy because you're not putting a deep gouge in the floor. So what you do when you edge, and I mean, I'll just tell you the easiest way to do it. This is a variable speed grinder or polisher. This one is just a cheapo. It's Chicago Electric. It's a Harbor Freight type item. It's $40, $50, $60. It's variable speed. That's an important thing because if you get a normal angle grinder, they're going to be 10,000 RPM. This one you can dial way down. And by the way, when you're done with it, you can use it to polish your car. 5/8 inch threaded arbor. And the most popular is our 4-inch backer pad. It's hook and loop type style, Velcro. You put it on the polisher here, if I can thread it. So you put it on like so, and then you grab the 4-inch diamond, starting at a 50, okay, and 50, 100, 200, 400, 800. They match our pads, so you successively polish up the edges when you do the floor. So the first grit that we start out in the polishing system is a 50 grit pad. 50 grit pad. So what you'd want to do, 50 grit diamond, put it on here, dial it way down, do it wet. Most everything we do is wet. Always do the edges before you do the floor. So you got a 50 grit on here, you do a 50 grit on the edge, and then you do your 50 grit pad throughout the entire floor. So, and then before you do your 100 grit pad on the floor, do your 100 grit edge. And when you edge, it's important. I'll show you the motion of it. I'm not going to run this tool, but don't just go right down the deal. You know, have some finesse in it and just kind of fade it a little bit as you go and have some finesse with it. Don't just run it down because you'll tend to create a line if you do that. But so that's one way to do it. The other way is kind of another get-by type way, if it's just a one-off project for you, is we have these drill adapters that go in the same backer, and all they are is a 5/8 thread that you thread into here, and it's a drill adapter, so you thread that in the backer, and then you take your battery-operated drill and put this in your battery-operated drill, and you do it with a drill. You're going to find that's a little bit more cumbersome, but if it's a one-off project, this is going to get you by just fine, you know, to do that with, and it's a little bit cheaper than buying the other tool. The other part and component of this is people ask about not only edges, but corners. How do you get in a corner? Same sort of deal. Osculating tool, there's very nice ones, and anymore there's cheap ones. This is a cheap one. It's a $15, $20 little osculating tool. Same thing. We have all of the grits It's kind of a different style of diamond. A lot of these are a vacuum braze type diamond. More on that later if we need to talk about it. But you get all the grids. See, 60, that's close enough to 50. And then, you know, 200, 400, 800, and what have you. So you throw your 60 on, and it just sticks on there. It's hook and loop, Velcro, and it osculates. So if you want to get in a corner, you know, you can take that 60, run it wet, and you could work in your corner perfectly well, you know, with this tool. So anyway, you know, it's a question we get a lot. How do you do corners and edges? That's how you do it. The important thing is you run your edge before you run your floor. So you run your 50 grit, then you run your 50 grit pad on the floor. Then you run your 100 grit edge, and then you run your 100 grit pad on the floor. And you know, that's it. That's edges, and we made that component easy of it for you, so we thought we would explain that to you. Thanks.